Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video, my old school way of doing videos, because I was having some technical issues with the apps I was using. Tried to post a video earlier today, 2 videos, and it's having problems with the audio, so I'll get that fixed probably within the next few weeks. But anyways, I just want to talk about the recent firing of Dave Ellefson by Megadeth, and my thoughts on that, because we've known for a while that something happened with Dave Ellefson and a much younger woman. I'm going to call her a woman because technically at the age of 18 you are a woman or a man or whatever the adult version of the other genders are. I don't know. Theyman, I don't know. Anyways, that's a bad boomerish right-wing joke, but I don't give a fuck. So, the impetus of Dave Mustaine firing Ellefson was this purported affair with a much younger woman when Ellefson was married. And then rumors of grooming and underage shenanigans were there as well. Now, I just wanted to call out the hypocrisy of Dave Mustaine doing this to Dave Ellefson, as if, like, during the 80s or even 90s, Dave Mustaine didn't, like, sniff heroin off a 18-year-old's boobs or something. Let's have sex. I mean, think about it. If you were a rocker in the 80s, you fucked many women, even thrash bands, which are more sausage fests as far as their shows. Let me close the window. A lot of people outside. So that's the whole problem. And by the way, it's not allergies or I'm not sick. I just had really spicy food. Well, I do have allergies too, but in case you're wondering, me sniffling. So this whole thing's just really gotten to be a mess. And Dave Ellefson is, a key integral part of Megadeth over their lifetime. It's like, make up your fucking mind, Dave Mustaine. You fire him, he sues you, he comes back, you're best friends, and you're, buddies again, and then all of a sudden you fucking pull the rug out from under him. Now, I think there's probably more to the story. That's what the official Blabbermouth story showed, as far as there's more to this story with regards to Dave Ellefson. Now, I think what happened, I think there's some money involved, obviously, and then Dave Mustaine, who's essentially a very cancelable entertainer already, didn't want Megadeth to be canceled and, fired Dave Ellefson. Oh my God. But we're really living in a really weird time. I kind of understand in a way, but it's like, why throw your friend under the bus? Your best buddy or your soulmate or whatever the hell you were calling him just a year or two ago. It's like, it's kind of like with Hansi Kirsch and John Schaefer, and with Demons and Wizards, Blind Guardian, Iced Earth, kind of thing with the Demons and Wizards thing. If you don't know, John Schaefer was one of the Capitol rioters. I use that term loosely, as to not trigger anybody on the right and left, and I've already done a video about that, with basically when it happened and my thoughts on that. And I know that it probably pisses off people on both sides, so, which I want to continue doing, of course. So that's my thoughts on Dave Ellefson and the whole thing. I mean, those who are without sin cast the first stone. I just, it's just like, that's a drawing, it was a drawing pull for me to see Megadeth the second or third time I saw them, because they had Dave Ellefson back, because he was a big part of the band. He doesn't have all the, a lot of songwriting credits, but he does have a few here and there, and he also has the bass playing, which is magnificent on a lot of the songs and albums. He's great. For a pick, a guy that uses a pick on bass, he's fucking great. So I mean, I think probably Metallica was considering him after Newsted left. I think Megadeth was checking out Jason Newsted too for a while, which is ironic, but he can't really do anything now because his neck is all fucked up from his back or whatever from touring so many years. So apparently. So anyways, I think Ellefson should have stayed if it is only this like this adult woman who was 18 at the time they started talking, and all this nonsense about, well, he was exploiting his power dynamics and she was 19 years old. Even though it's not illegal, it's still problematic. It's like, where do we draw the line then? Why not have the fucking age of consent 27 then? If you're gonna, well, it's because he's so much older. What if she was like a princess of Monaco or some shit? He's just this lowly bass player in this thrash band that's, doesn't even sell out arenas, but she was a rich millionaire. I mean, what would people say then? Power dynamics is shit, yeah. Probably not. But she's a woman, so even though 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, younger women were knocking down doors to have sex with rock stars. It's just the truth. And now it's problematic that he pulls his Wayne on a webcam in front of some adult woman that came out and said it was okay in the public. If that's it, if that's all that's going on with that, then fuck that. If there's more, then there might be more. Maybe it'll come out. Kind of like the Carl Logan debacle. At first I was like, oh, it has to be, because of so much of this bullshit with this whole thing the last few years, how convoluted and shit and hypocritical people have become. I actually thought Carl Logan was just like a couple years underage. It didn't turned out way more sinister and far worse. And there is a spectrum. I don't give a fuck what you say. There is a spectrum with that stuff, and people are still, Iggy Pop's not in prison, Jimmy Page is not in prison, fucking Mick Jagger's out there doing his shit. He hasn't been canceled either. I mean, but all these guys have done far worse than what came out as allegedly Dave Ellefson has done, by the way, I might add. And he's a Christian. Maybe Dave Mustaine's like, well, Christ doesn't like having an adulterer in my band, so I'm gonna pick out Dave Ellefson. He's gonna get in trouble. It's like fucking, it's like fucking really ridiculous. But, it is what it is. But, no warning, no second chance. That's all.